Hi, I'm Jessica Lombard, proud superintendent of Huntley 158. Welcome back to RAIDER Roundtable. Today, we're talking about something that makes the extraordinary difference in the lives of our students and staff alike: volunteerism here in our schools. From classroom helpers and mentors to guest readers and community partners, volunteers have been the heartbeat of a strong school community. They give their time, talents, and care to support learning, build connections, and show students what it means to give back. Their impact goes far beyond extra hands. It creates a culture of belonging, collaboration, and shared responsibility for student success. In this episode, we'll explore why volunteerism matters, how it strengthens schools and communities, and the lasting impact it has on everyone involved. I'd like to introduce you to our guest today, Eileen Delahunty, the volunteer coordinator for Huntley 158. Welcome, Eileen. It's so great to have you here with us today.
Thank you so much, Jessica. I appreciate the opportunity to be here.
Oh, great. Eileen, you've been an incredible asset to this district for 29 years. You're in the role of a volunteer coordinator, or the volunteer coordinator. Everyone in this community, in this district, knows Eileen. Can you share with us a little bit about yourself and the role of the volunteer coordinator?
Well, thank you, Jessica. As you mentioned, I've been here 29 years, some of the best years of my life. And it's my privilege to get to serve in this role. And as the volunteer coordinator, my responsibilities include supporting our teachers and staff in any way that I can in order that they can do their jobs to the best of their ability by bringing in volunteers to assist in such a variety of ways, which we'll talk about in a bit.
Seeing that you've been here for 29 years, this district, this community has really grown and changed over that time. You've seen it through everything.
I have.
So while the role volunteer coordinator or title has stayed the same, what you've done has changed over that time. And I think we're going to be able to talk about that because the needs in the buildings and how we utilize our volunteers has really grown under your leadership. So I'm excited to really talk about this topic today.
Thank you. I am as well.
Eileen, when we think about school districts and having volunteers, it goes far deeper than just having, it's incredibly important to have our parents coming in and helping out in classrooms, but it goes deeper than that. Why do you think it is so important for school districts to encourage volunteerism and really tap into their community?
Jessica, volunteers are such great advocates for learning and the assets that they can bring to our students and to our staff as well, to ease their load. Anything that we could be doing to support our teachers so that their responsibilities can be focused directly on the children. And in this day and age with differentiation, it's such an overwhelming responsibility that they have. And it's just a benefit to the students. And it's important for students of all ages to know that their community cares about them. It's not just about their parents and their teachers. It's about strangers. It's about people who live in their neighborhoods and they might see out at stores. Having a vested interest in what their success is going to be like during their school days.
Absolutely. And I think it is really neat to be able to walk through the schools and to see students recognizing some of our volunteers who have been here year after year, and that excitement when they walk into the classroom, or maybe it's into the cafeteria or the library, that you really truly see it's not just another person in our building. They really build connections with our students.
They do, and they just serve as such great role models for our students to aspire to be and to give back. We all need to give back to our community.
Absolutely. I think you said at the beginning we were going to talk about what are some of those volunteer opportunities. When we think about some of the typical day-to-day uses that we're looking for volunteers in our schools, and it might look a little different at the elementary or middle and high school levels. What are some of those regular type volunteer opportunities that we have in our schools?
And it is very different depending on the grade level. At our elementary level, of course, it's just the day-to-day activities, helping in the classrooms, assisting children sitting out in the hall, doing flashcards with them, helping a teacher maybe doing a bulletin board, preparing for parties, going on field trips. We extend into our fine arts events, book fairs, art shows, concerts. The list just goes on picture day, vision and hearing. There's just so many day-to-day activities that without the support of volunteers, I just don't know how we would get all those things accomplished and give our students everything that they deserve and everything that they need. At the middle school level and high school level, we're seeing a lot of volunteers more in a booster capacity. They help so much with athletics and with the fine arts, and of course then helping with academies and our different guest speakers that come in. That's a little bit more focused, more on community-based at that level, middle school and high school, than parents. Kind of like by 4th and 5th grade, most parents are realizing the end is near and my time for sharing, whether it be that children just don't need their parents in the classroom all the time, or that there's other things that their parents could be helping out with.
Absolutely. And you think about, we go to a football game, you go to a music concert, you go to some of these events, when you talk about our boosters and the volunteering, they really help run those activities. We have our staff there, but we can't do the things, running the concessions, being able to have some of the pieces might be showing. If you go over to the high school on any given evening, there could be a variety of events. There could be people just helping out where to find the various locations.
Absolutely.
And all of our volunteers do these things with a smile on their face, and it makes such an impact for our staff, but mostly for our students. So.
Absolutely.
Now, you talked a little bit about our academies when you're getting up more specialized. We're in our middle school, but definitely in our high school. Those are more unique opportunities that we have for volunteers. What do those unique opportunities look like? Because I think sometimes people feel, oh, well, you know, my kids are older, or I don't have students anymore in the district, and how can I bring something from my past or my background into the school setting? So what do those unique opportunities look like?
Our parents have been involved in various ways for many years with PBIS, and in particular, the last couple of years, we're looking for parents to engage more with our students by coming in once a month. They have a reward activity where students can choose the time that they want to spend their dollars earned for their behavior support. And so the parents come in. We don't ever ask anyone for more than an hour of their time. And they facilitate opportunities. We have bingo games. We have movie and board games. We have a little extra recess. We might have a craft or window painting.
I think I've seen painting of nail polish or
also popular. And the parents don't even realize what a help this is to the staff. This is time that a teacher doesn't have to take out of her day or her planned time to facilitate that opportunity. And what a great way for parents to engage. It's so fun. And I would just like to encourage more of our parents to just check your emails then. It's going to come out once a month from your principal or your PBIS tier leader, and respond. Join us. At the high school level, through our academies, most definitely our Medical and Engineering Academy, which I have the most exposure with. We have volunteers, whether they be community or parent volunteers, who assist with guest speaking, just sharing their career background with students. What did it take to get to where you are today? Where did you go to school? What do you recommend classes I take so that I can be successful? We have interviews for getting into the academies and then exiting the academies, where students will gather with a panel and they showcase, so to say, what they've done in their 2 to 3 years in the academy. And it's incredible what they're doing. And the volunteers just serve just as such great role models for our students. At the elementary level, we're so fortunate, in particular at Chesapeake School, I could highlight we have, we call PALS,
Yes.
People Assisting with Literacy Skills. PALS has been around for about 15 years now. The name has changed a couple times here and there, but in essence, we have community members who come in once a week. This year we have 21 who come in once a week, and they just work for about an hour at a time with a specific teacher and children in that class, and just to enhance their literacy skills. And the progress that we see from when they start in early October normally until May is incredible. The bond that the children form with their volunteer is beyond words. The kids just get so excited. Those children who don't get service through the volunteers often feel kind of left out. So every once in a while, the teacher might send a child who doesn't need the support in literacy, but they might just need someone to give them a little bit of time and attention. And that's the wonderful thing about our community volunteers. They're choosing to be there. They're choosing to have spend their time with our students. At the middle school level, we have some very unique programs that have been taking place the last couple of years at Heinemann Middle School.
Absolutely.
I know you've been a part of it. The Veterans Interview program for our 8th grade students through the Social Studies Department. The students have an opportunity to sit down in different sessions throughout the day, speaking one-on-one with a retired veteran from our community, and they just have such engaging conversations, and they get to learn about things that they can't study within their books. The veterans are coming in and they're showing medals of theirs, and they come with their uniforms, and they highlight what their experiences were like and what life was like for them. And it's just a wonderful opportunity for the students and also for the veterans. So many have commented that it's given them the opportunity to really reflect on their contributions to our country. And then a program that started last year, the 8th grade oral history program, which I just love. And it gives our students the opportunity to develop some communication skills and get out of their comfort zone and to speak with people that they don't know and find out what was life like when you were in middle school, and what did you do as a family, and what kind of classes did you take. And they have a day long of conversation, and I can guarantee you the volunteers enjoy it more than the kids do probably. They end the day with a clap out with all the students in the hall just thanking the volunteers for being there. Such
Absolutely.
wonderful.
Being at both of those events over the years, you walk in and you could hear a pin drop, and just in the background, hearing the conversation that's happening over generations, and really having honest questions and feedback to learn about things that they can't read in a book, or I've read that, and or seeing things. What's that? That's a dial telephone. That's a this, and you know that excitement to really learn from one another is just something that, you know, as an educator, to see that helps us remember this is why we're here. And It does. It takes a community. It takes a village.
It's so engaging for both sides like that. And then lastly, I would just love to point out a very unique program we have at the high school. It's our Medical Academy Pen Pal program. And this is our 6th year, a program that started out of need during COVID because our students who are required to serve volunteer hours in order to be a part of the Medical Academy, those opportunities were gone because no one was allowing volunteers to come anywhere. And so Renee Sinclair, who heads up the Medical Academy, approached me and said, what do you think? Do you think we could get a Pen Pal program going at Del Webb? I've heard that this could really be a great opportunity. And we went with it and started out kind of small, maybe 10 or 15 volunteers that first year, and they loved it. And 6 years later, almost all of the same people people are still with us, with more added on because more students want to participate. It's just so wonderful to see this intergenerational program blossom. We didn't need to continue having it because students have that opportunity to get back out in the community.
Right.
But it just fosters such a sense of community. It teaches our students empathy, which is really an important trait that there needs to have if they are going into the medical career. And it just helps them to develop skills that they just might not even know that they need at
Absolutely.
the time.
Eileen, you brought up a really good point. That came out of a need that happened because education had to look differently for a little while. And so that idea came from a staff member who was like, hey, we've got to make this work. How can we do that? Reached out to you to say, I've got this idea. And like you said, it started smaller and it grew. And many of those same individuals that volunteered for that program are still staying part of that. The ideas for, like we said at the beginning, we had some typical types of things that we're going to have year-to-year needs that happen in our schools. But these ideas for some of our programs or opportunities have come from staff members, but they also have come from volunteers saying, hey, we've got this. We may have this opportunity, or we have a group of people with this expertise. And so I have a question. Recently, we've had a partnership for a number of years with Del Webb, but we've recently really solidified and grown that partnership between the school district and Del Webb. And last year was a milestone year for that. Can you tell us a little bit about our collaboration and our partnership between the school district and Del Webb?
Absolutely. As you mentioned, our relationship with Del Webb goes back to the spring of 2001 when 3 men from Del Webb approached the superintendent at the time and said, we're here and we want to participate and help and give back to this, community that's, growing in leaps and bounds. And as you know, back then, we were opening new schools every couple of years. And from there, we just fostered a continuing relationship with them, and it developed over the course of 7 or 8 years, and people coming in and out of all of our schools, kindergarten through high school. But last spring, due to the thanks of one of our wonderful volunteers who happens to also serve on the board of directors for the Sun City Community Association, she said we could be doing more. And I'm going to work with our board and see how we can establish a more profound contribution where we could be giving back. There's a wealth of knowledge living back to back, basically, between the high school and the Del Webb community, and how can we better serve one another. And from there, things have just exploded. We're working with the Nurses Club now, coming into our medical academy classes and helping in our human development class, which is part of the CTE department at the high school.
The So-and-So Club has a number of people who are coming in and working with
incredible.
Our fashion classes.
These women who, that's just their hobby, and now they're coming in and they're helping our students who've never picked up a needle before or sat behind a sewing machine. We're going to have them coming in this semester and teaching knitting and crocheting. Exciting. And they want to be there. That's what the best part of it is. These people want to contribute. We have the Railroad Club, which is working with us. The Woodchucks, which is their woodworking club. They're going to be working with the CTE department and Nick Weedoff and helping our geocon classes. There's just so many opportunities, and we're starting slow. We're focusing on the high school, but we see it developing and crossing over to our entire school community in the years ahead.
Eileen, as we've talked, with that partnership with Del Webb started with 3, and now we probably have hundreds that are, and some that might just be from time to time, or it could be partnering with us to review student books or whatever it might be with the young authors and things like that. And so it's not necessarily that they're in our buildings every day, but it's finding those unique opportunities and those talents and expertise and tying them with one student, with a program, with a class, whatever it may be, to be able to give back and impact our future generations. And so we really have seen the volunteers and the programs and the opportunities grow here in Huntley 158. One of the things I know that we're trying to get more information out to our alumni. They all have something that they can bring back and offer. Many are in our community, or even if they're not, coming out to be a guest speaker, to sit in one of those interviews for our academies, to help sit when you're around reading to our students, or maybe it's a career path that they are in, and we're looking for mentors for our students just to learn more about the careers and the jobs so that they may know, is this the right thing for me to go into? Maybe they're internships. And so there are different ways that we're going to try to continue to grow those partnerships and those opportunities. So if we have a community member, we've got a parent, we have an alumni, we have someone who says, hey, I'd love to get into District 158 and really help out. Here's what I think I have that I can offer to the district and the students. How do they get involved? Where do they go? Who do they contact? What do they do?
I just encourage people, please just reach out to me. You might think you want to work with the younger children and help them with reading. And then you decide after a while, yeah, that's just not my thing. And please don't just walk away from us. I'll encourage you. I'll give you other opportunities because there is a place for everyone. And we just didn't find you the right place the first time. Nothing would make me happier than to involve our alumni in a bigger way. It's wonderful to see when kids come back. I have high school graduates who come back in the medical academy, the engineering academy. We had 2 young men who came about a month ago and helped us with our engineering design and development. Through coming back, they realized the opportunities that they were given, and they are so enthusiastic now about participating. They've committed to being mentors now to our students. We see it in the medical academy. We see it. I reached out to a former student who I just happened to know from many, many years ago, and I knew he was a chef, and we were looking for a guest chef at the middle school. And I reached out to him. He's a parent in the district now. And I reached out, and lo and behold, he's so excited to come back now as a dad in the district and as a former Huntley Red Raider.
That's a really, really neat experience to share. And you have stories like that at all of our levels.
We do. We absolutely do.
Like I said before, 29 years in this district. You hear the name Eileen out in the community and everybody knows you. And so it could be also connections that they're hearing from other people that are there.
I'm available through the district and
really
pride myself on getting back to people right away. My belief has always been there is a place for everyone. And I particularly tell this to our community volunteers.
A lot of passion and a lot of dedication. And you definitely have that passion. You care about our volunteers. You really want to make the experiences be meaningful for them, because then those are meaningful experiences for our students. And so you really take the time to get to know our volunteers, to find out what they have to offer before just plopping them into an opportunity. I think one of the other things that you do really, really well is after someone's been here, the gratitude. And it's more than just thanks for that, because we need volunteers. You are incredibly grateful for whether it's a one-day or a year-long commitment that someone could give. And something that drives you, you've talked about a quote that you leave with a lot of our volunteers. And it's something that I think leads you in the role, Do you want to share that with our listeners before we wrap up today?
Thank you, Jessica. Thank you for the kind words. I do appreciate it. My job is a job of passion. I love our community. I love the Huntley community, the school community, and the school district. Really, we are the hub of this community. Everything centers around our schools, and I couldn't be more fortunate than to be in this role and to give back. I was never meant to be a teacher, but I was meant to help children in some way, and so through my role as volunteer coordinator, I do appreciate the opportunities the district has given me to find my place in my community. And I just would like to share one of my favorite quotes from George Bernard Shaw, a playwright. I just feel that we can't sum it all up any better than that. Mm-hmm. We're a community, we're a school community, we're a Huntley community, and we just work in concert with one another to share our experiences, our opportunities, and to give the next generation everything that they deserve and that they need.
Beautifully said, Eileen. I want to thank you for joining us today on our episode here, talking about something that is so crucial to school districts. Not only just joining us here on our episode, but Eileen, thank you for what you do every day, day in and day out for 29 years. Like I said at the very, very beginning, introducing you, you've been a staple asset to this district. And well, you said maybe you weren't meant to teach. You are meant to be in education, and you're making a lasting impact, and you're bringing our volunteers along, because it is people like you and our volunteers that really are the heartbeat to this district. So thank you again.
Thank you so much.
But before signing off, here's a little fun fact. And as always, I'd like to thank the Huntley Area Public Library for the use of their recording studio, and to all of you for joining us on this episode of Raider Roundtable, where it's all students always. Until next time.
And George says, I am of the opinion that my life belongs to the community, and as long as I live, it is my privilege to do for it whatever I can. I want to be thoroughly used up when I die, for the harder I work, the more I live.
Last year, approximately 2,800 community members volunteered in our Huntley 158 schools. Want to know how you can get involved and increase that number? Reach out to Eileen Delahunty.